Jeff Buckley on Triple J in 1995.
And I'm glad to say that joining me tonight on Retro Perspective is Jeff himself. Jeff, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome to Australia.
Thank you.
We're going to be playing your High Five tonight on the program.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I just found out that it was High Five that changed your life. But these are just, I thought these were supposed to be my favorite songs in the moment.
I know. The miscommunication happened somewhere between me and the record company, unfortunately.
Isn't it beautiful?
Doesn't matter. These things happen. I mean,
entire empires are built on that dynamic.
Great artists have been made by that miscommunication.
And broken.
In terms of these songs then, I mean, how did you pick these songs then?
Just off the top of my head.
What, 5 current favourites?
Boom, 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 boom.
So in some ways, have these changed your life? Or is that, like, when I say that to people, like...
They charge my life. But, yeah.
How many songs, roughly, off the top of your head? Would you think half a dozen songs have changed your life?
More. Radically changed, a little bit less than more.
Yeah.
But there's, I don't know, things still are. The day I heard How Soon Is Now. The day I heard Yejo Halka Halka by Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan. The day I heard Goretzky's Third Symphony. The night I heard that. I don't know. I can't think.
Do you try to relive that moment through your own music too?
No, it's a different thing.
Different ball?
Yeah, and the day I heard Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Just sort of, I don't know, it could be a sound that you've never had. And you know, the sound carries an emotion with it, obviously. And you sort of brightened by it somehow. And definitely music means time, you know, in space. Meaning when you play it, you obviously... music needs time to live in. And sometimes that time is a memory, a childhood memory, or a really dramatic memory of a fight, a loss, a death, a birth, a movie, something totally ordinary. And just, if a song captures it, those are the things that keep time in your life, but sometimes change. Like revolutionize your life? Yeah, very few songs.
Yeah. We're going to sort of, you've actually listed 6 here, and I'm going to extend it just for this once, given that you're only in the country for a short amount of time. We'll whack in 6 tonight on the program. We're going to swap it around. I just said that we're going to hear Bad Brains, but why don't we go in with that Diana Ross and the Supremes track? So what comes to mind when you hear Ain't No Mountain High Enough?
Fullerton, California, Pritchard Street house. We lived next to a railroad track and an airport simultaneously. My mother had a garage full of weird clothing she would make, and she had her own business called Elegant Funk, and I would roll joints for my parents. She was married to my stepfather.
And you were how old?
5.
5.
And I think my little brother wasn't along then, or maybe he was. I don't know.
A good childhood?
It was a childhood.
It
was good.
Fun?
Yeah, sure.
Great.
Fun. It was everything.
Okay. All right, well, let's bring back that snapshot right now.
Okay.
Great track. Supremes on Triple J.
The rules.
Jeff Buckley on Triple J in 1995.
Ain't No Mountain High Enough. I must admit, it is one of my favourite Supremes track as well. It's got this huge build-up. It's just a great arrangement and all that sort of stuff. Do you listen to it that technically, or is it just the mood?
I listened to something like enough years and it just sinks in. But
Here.
no, I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. Songs are like frogs. You can dissect them and really get to know the systems in the lungs and everything, but you just can't put life back into the frog. Carl Schroeder said that.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's true. And songs are just the same. I mean, I like to learn songs and learn how to play them. But so that was a fixation I had up until the time I was maybe 16, 17. And I can play anything I hear if I hear it long enough, but I don't like to dissect it.
Takes away a bit of the mystery? Or a lot of the mystery?
Yeah. But if a thing's well written enough, it just, and you stay away from it long enough and come back to it, it'll always be there. And that's a good song. Amazing songs out there.
There sure are. We're going through Jeff Buckley's High Five tonight on Triple J. That was the first one, Diana Ross and the Supremes. What about for people who sort of dissect your music as well? Does that sort of irritate you? Does it rub you the wrong way? If they try to pull the pieces apart to try to get to the man?
No, because that's their funeral. Joke's on them. There's nothing at the end of that one.
Yeah, they're missing the point, basically.
Yeah, you know, songs are aspect of the person, or several aspects put into. It's like trying to pick apart my word yes. What do you mean by that? But you know, it's just self-evident. All
Okay.
songs are pretty much.
We're going to change the pace completely. Go from Diana Ross to the Bad Brains.
Bad Brains.
So what's this say about Jeff Buckley liking this track?
My introduction to New York for the first time. First thing I heard was Reignition. That changed my life. That's off of Eye Against Eye. The whole album. That whole album. Well, the first side actually. But the first Bad Brains album is the one that I love the most. And it took me a while to get into Rock for Light, because there's a lot of the same songs as on the first one, and it's produced by Rico Kasich from the Cars, and it sounds really bright and clear, whereas the first one sounds muddy and evil. But I learned to like it because there's songs that you can't get anywhere else, such as this one.
I haven't seen him live.
Or We Will Not, or Joshua's song. It's a good album. This song I love.
I haven't seen him live. I've read that they're pretty phenomenal, Bad Brains live.
With HR, yeah. HR's the man. HR is the man. HR is the man. HR is the man. I don't know what's happening now, but there was a time.
He was the first lead singer.
He's just it. And I wasn't even around, but like to hear about it, there was it was DC hardcore and there was New York hardcore and hardcore all over the place, and they just came out and were just so ahead of everything. It seemed not ahead, but they're just you know what I mean. They nailed it like that.
Okay.
Rastafari. Anyway, you better roll it before I do something even more stupid.
Before you take the whole power of the song away.
Yeah.
And make it...
No, that's impossible. Impossible.
Yeah, okay. How low can a punk get? This is Bad Brains on Triple J. You're listening to the high five and the coughing of Jeff Buckley.
You got a spliff?
I'll tell you while the track's on. Okay. In case the police are outside.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Kingsmill talks to Jeff Buckley in 1995 on Triple J.
How low can a punk get? By the Bad Brains from Rock for Light. This is Jeff Buckley. Hi. Next thing up is from Radio Ethiopia by the Patti Smith group. And I can't say anything about this song. You just have to listen and don't go away.
Jeff Buckley talks to Triple J's Richard Kingsmill in 1995 about some of his favourite music.
Wonderful. I love Patti Smith. What is it about her that you really like?
Same thing I like in any artist. The artists I like the most is her voice and her music and her words, all equally like special and strange and penetrating, and understanding. But they all just sort of integrate. I can't separate her from her voice. When I look at her, at a picture of her face, I can only imagine that sound coming out. You know what I mean?
To me,
like a force of nature. I met her, and she's quite an ordinary human being, and she's worked hard to achieve that. But when the music comes, it's I don't know, it'll save you.
It's extremely emotive, and it sounds like she lives her music. She channels a lot from her life into her music, which is why I like her so much.
She lives her life well, and I hope so. I hope she always lives her life well. But
is she getting back into music? I seem to have remembered reading an article recently, or seeing an article about how she was going to get back into things.
Oh, she's back. I saw her. I saw her play at Lollapalooza. I saw Patti Smith come back. I saw Patti Smith break back in.
This year's Lollapalooza?
Oh yeah, I was on the second stage, and I saw, I don't know, all of a sudden I see Lenny Kay just go by on a buggy. I told this story so many times. I'm so proud of it.
Tell it again.
I remember.
I haven't heard it.
28 years old.
I'm jealous, of course, because I just recently went to the Lollapalooza in Toronto, just briefly, and of course Patti Smith wasn't there on that bill, so I'm keen to know because I missed out.
Oh, I was just there, and all of a sudden it's like this Patti Smith group comes in, And it happened. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, where's Lenny? What's he doing here? And, well, they're setting up in about, half an hour. I'm like, God, my God. So I took a chair and I sat it up next to the stage, perched on a board or something, and I watched uninterrupted Patti Smith group play. Yvonne Corral wasn't there, but it's J.D. Doherty, Tony Shanahan on bass, Lenny, and Patti. And it was probably the first rock gig she had done in 15 years?
A long time.
I wouldn't know. I mean, maybe she's done other things, but she got up and she rocked.
What'd she do? Did she do old stuff or?
Rock and Roll Star, Dancing Barefoot, People Have the Power, Bob Dylan's song, I forget what it was, and a new song called About a Boy. She wrote for Kurt Cobain. And, so, I don't know, I couldn't keep from weeping. It was great. I'm a horrible critic. I'm my own worst critic. And I can be very kind, but, it's gigs. I've seen gigs all my life, and, it's gigs. This one fucking ripped me apart.
And it was completely unannounced, so it was
completely unannounced.
Much of a surprise to you as
nothing could touch me. Nothing interrupted me. I stared, and it was great. Rocking. It was great. I was so proud. It was great.
I hope she gets it back together in terms of like.
Oh, she's got it. Make no mistake.
Yeah, and make some more records. Because the sad news came through. I think it was late last year about her husband, Fred Sonic Smith, passing away.
Brother before. No, brother after actually. After. I remember I was in Portland. Somebody said, I just noticed that people were dying while we were on tour, like Carmen McRae and Rock Hudson. I don't know, I forget. They're just dropping like flies. And then somebody said, Fred Sonic Smith. And I said, what? Fred? I didn't know him. I never, I was just it's sad. I didn't expect it, That's probably when we started doing Kick Out the Jams.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it was nice that you dedicated last night when I saw you Kick Out the Jams to him. So is that only a recent addition to your set?
Not too recent. We just habitually play it and dedicate it to Fred. Dedicate it to Wayne. Dedicate it to Rob. Dedicate it to the whole band. They were... Yeah. I mean, we play it. I hope to aspire to it.
Well, it's a good...
It was fun to play.
It was great. It was a surprise. I wasn't expecting it. It was a great track.
This, I don't know, this song sounds like a song of devotion. Ain't it strange? Devotion. Love devotion. Although I can't make out all the words, but I don't care. They make me out better than I make them out.
Okay. The Patti Smith Group there from 1976 from the Radio Ethiopia album. If you can remember back that far, in case you're wondering what the track was called, Jeff just said it was called Ain't It Strange. Jeff Buckley's with me tonight on Retro Perspective. We're running through his high five. We should kick in with this one as well. Saw these guys play here last year and they were pretty dynamic on stage. The John Spencer Blues Explosion.
You lucky dog.
Not seen them?
Never.
Oh well, there, we're 1-1. You saw Patti Smith Group, I saw John Spencer Blues Explosion.
Yeah,
Get me afterwards. This is from, pretty much their latest album, the Orange album.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Make no mistake, the Blues Explosion. The whole album is Blues Explosion. Yeah, it's the best. Besides,
we'll get to it.
Besides one of the other things that we're playing.
Yes, don't ruin it.
Number one all-time road album. Awesome. He rocks. Dave.
I'm kind of surprised that you picked it, even though you haven't seen him play live, because to me, he was better live than he was on record. It's kind of like the whole picture's there on stage. On record, it's kind of like only half a picture.
Yeah, well, I'm always on tour, and I always have bad timing, and I'm never around when he's around. And all I have are the recordings, and started with extra width, and just started buying things, and then Orange came out. It's just great. It's a great listen.
That's a good road album for you.
Yeah, I pretend I'm Judah Bauer naked in my apartment sometimes.
Sorry, you pretend you're who?
Judah.
Judah?
Yeah.
As in the Bible?
No, in the band.
Oh, sorry.
Or
Don't know them individually by
That's
name.
okay. Or sometimes I pretend I'm the backup girls on this one. It's awesome. Anyway, so, okay.
We'll hear it.
And then my mother, she used to tell me that I was nothing. And
No, go ahead. Play it before I speak again. John Spencer Blues Explosion, man. A man.
Jeff Buckley on Triple J in 1995.
Yeah. Good old John. John Spencer Blues Explosion, man, from the album Orange. Next up, another one of my favorite songs, which is hard to decide from the album, is from Pony Express record by Shudder, to Think. This is a band that used to be based out of D.C., and now some of them are in New York. And I don't know. People think I'm good, right? But this is a person, and these are some people that I think are really good, really beautiful. You've never heard anything like this. And, yeah, this is called Track Star. There's too many things to choose from on this one, but I especially adore Track Star. You'll see. Craig, Nathan, Stuart, and Adam are in the band. Behold.
Richard Kingsmill talks to Jeff Buckley in 1995 on Triple J.
A friend, actually, who you just met before, actually put me onto this band, Shudder to Think, and it is amazing. I mean, I hadn't heard anything quite like this band until putting on this record.
Yeah, beautiful.
It's a real weird mix of things going on in there, but it all works.
Yeah, and some of it is like, 70s cheese pop, like the good stuff, like, Lonely Boy by Andrew Gold, and I mean, I pick out lots of things from here. But, some other people you need to see. Shudder to Think.
You've seen them live?
Yes.
Can they do it? I mean, because they're
Can they do it?
Yeah, because the harmonies, the voices are so perfect, and the music's kind of so different and dynamic. Can they do it live too?
They're hardcore. They can do anything. Yeah.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah, they probably did this all live in the room.
Jeff Buckley on Triple J in 1995.
Shudder to Think, Pony Express record. That track was called Track Star. Great. I hope you've enjoyed it, doing your high five. It's been interesting to sort of see the music that you're into.
Yeah. Did we do the Grifters yet?
No, we're getting to it. It's
Awesome.
going to be the last one. We'll go out with the Grifters. A band that I've heard a lot about, but I've never actually heard them, so I'm glad that you've actually brought it in so we can play it.
Here's some other people. These are all great performers, these people. I sort of tend to go for that. It just gets me. But only time I've ever seen the Grifters. It was really close up. For some reason, I don't know why, on the first American tour that we did with the band, we ended up in Iowa City, and opening up for us for the Dam Builders is a Trey rocking band from Boston. Really rocking. And although they'll deny it from that night, but we thought they were rocking. And then the Grifters, and then us. I don't know what the hell happened. It shouldn't have been like that, but it was. And that's how I saw the Grifters. I don't know, it just was great.
What's the singer's name in this band?
Dave. Well, there's Dave and Scott. Yeah, but Dave's voice.
I love his voice. I've heard 2 tracks just quickly before, and his voice is just something that's kind of like instant.
Yeah, he hurts real bad. He hurts real good. But, yeah, check it out.
Okay. You're obviously coming back to Australia, I think, for the big day out early next year.
I think so. It's being talked over, but I don't know, nothing. It's all in the air.
Great.
But yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah.
I'd love to.
I hope so, because this tour is also, very short, very small, so it'd be good to see you on a big stage and do a few more dates as well around the country.
Mm-hmm.
And enjoy the rest of your stay in Australia, and hopefully you'll get some sleep as well before you get back on the plane.
I'm really hanging on.
You're hanging on by the skin of your teeth. Jeff Buckley's been with me tonight. Thanks for coming in. Enjoy the rest of your stay. Let's go out with this track from the Grifters.
Jeff Buckley on Triple J in 1995.